Morning.
Mr. Maurizio Alongi is our CEO, our business director. And he is the man who has the largest experience in the synthetic membranes, I think, in Italy and maybe in Europe. And he has big experience. He had big experience before Imper in Flag, before it became Suprema. But he's in Imper for so many years. So he will introduce himself to you accordingly, because I know less than himself.
Why is so kind? Because I pay his salary.
Not true, not true. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
We said...
I would like Mr. Rotolo
Mr.
introduce
Rotolo,
the experience with the TPO in Imper.
Yeah, so he can explain about himself. And
I'm Sicilian.
He's from Sicily.
Okay. Okay. I've been with Imper for about 50 years. I am also involved in certification activities, and so on. We can talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So here we are all ready to talk about the meeting purpose of today, which is why to use TPO, Cintofoil of Imper, for commercial roofing. And before that, I would like to make a short presentation about Imper company, just to make it clear who we are, what we do, and what are our plans. So Imper Italia is, as you can, just 1 second, because with the mouse. Yeah, started really in 1936, the activity under the name of the former owners of Imper, Alfredo Schironi and Sons. And the activity at that time was concerning the liquid emulsions, bituminous emulsions for waterproofing, yeah? Consequently, they have developed also other products for the metal structures, such as anti-corrosion material and products for formulations for the refurbishment of concrete structures. That was the initial part of the family Schironi in Imper. And it was Imper Italia SCPA. And after that, the company, of course, when the market changed from pour and roll systems with the bituminous products, you know, paper felt and liquid paper felt and liquid material. In the 60s, after the discovery of the atactic polypropylene, Imper started producing the real rolls that today we call bituminous roofing, waterproofing membranes, yeah? So it was one of the first pioneers in the field of modified bitumen as well. Of course, the company was very oriented to research and development of new formulation, new polymers, new research, etc. So in the 80s, they were so curious about certain copolymers, certain polyolefin material that were to be tested to see what else they can do with the modified bitumen membranes. And indeed, they discovered that it could be used only this kind of polymer. Actually, it was like a sort of joint venture between Imper and Basel. It's one of the biggest chemical industry in Italy. Monte di Zon Montel, Basel.
The first company in the world about for the APP.
The first company, is Engineer Rotolo was telling me about the atactic polypropylene. So they did several tests on that kind of polymer, and they discovered that they can do a membrane made only with this kind of co-extrusion of the same polymer. You can make a product, something like that, that brought their attention to produce synthetic membrane, TPO, without reinforcement, ST. And was the first production. They started in the 80s doing these things because they believed in this kind of, in America, it was existing as Carlisle was already producing material, similar material in America. So they tried as a first company in Italy to produce synthetic membranes through experiments in the 80s.
Yes, and the first membrane was produced for foundations, undergrounds, or for roofing.
Roofing, Centofoil.
Yes.
TPO, roofing.
TPO only roofing.
Yeah. So in 1995, Imper, as leading manufacturer of bituminous modified in the market, they have, how can I say, they have founded a new division called Rubber Fuse, dedicated for synthetic sector, okay? And with a product brand name, trade name, Centofoil. And I officially launched this in 1995. Prior to that, they were working under outsourcing by doing the product through other manufacturer of something different than membranes. I don't remember the... Lamiskin. They were producing what?
TPO.
TPO, but not for roofing.
Not for
furniture.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, of course, the orientation of the company is to establish the market of synthetic membrane TPO in Italy, and was really pioneer in this process, Imper.
Yes.
After that, in 2003, they have founded the company called Eurodue in Marano Ticino, which is located very close to Milano Malpensa Airport. They have acquired a company with experience and know-how about PVC plasticized.
For underground.
Only
for underground.
Yeah. To develop and manufacture TPO directly themselves, not through outsourcing, but themselves. And that was in 2003. In 2014, a big industrial company based in Russia were investing to find factories producing synthetic membranes, TPO mainly. And they have contacted the former owner's family Schironi to buy the synthetic membrane factory. At the end, they have agreed to sell both together, bituminous membrane factory here in Turin, together with the synthetic membrane in Milano. So they have acquired the company, they bought it, but they kept the brand Imper as it is. They didn't change the name of the company, neither the brand, neither the logo. And they kept the management and the staff and the organization as it was earlier. So Imper remained belonging to the group, and in the same time, we work somehow in an independent way.
Okay.
Of course, to be a company like Imper, we should have all kinds of certifications. And with this regard, I would like to give my colleague the words to talk about it.
Yes,
about the certifications in general.
I think Centofoil is the most certificatable product. We have many certifications in terms of agreement, approval, and many other certifications in Italy, in Europe, and in the world. In Italy in particular, we have some agreements in the most important countries in Europe, like France, where we have the CSTB, the certification, the agreement with the CSTB. In England, where we have the agreement certificated with the BBA. This is a particular professional certification that attests the life expectancy of Centofoil for about 30 years now, but we are improved. We are in improvement of these terms up to 35 years. In the next revision of the agreement, we will have
there will be an extension from 30 years to 35 years life expectancy through BBA certificate.
Also, we have
it's one of the most asked questions. How
yes.
long is TPO?
Yes. But moreover, we have also some other certification made by the Polytechnic of Milano, I don't know.
University of Milano Politecnico.
University Politecnico Milano. That study the behavior of cintofoil on the roofs in Europe. In particular, they tested taking samples from roofs in Spain, in France, in England. They take the samples and verify
the life expectancy that has been tested by professor of Milano University called Professor Croce. Yes. He has been commissioned by IMPER to do these kind of testing in different countries and in different sites. So they took samples from 3 different locations. Some of them have been applied 10 years prior to testing, and one was applied 5 years before testing. So they have performed all kind of testing and the necessary testing just to see the life expectancy of such material, seeing and watching the behavior between the membrane after 5 years or 10 years in exposed and not exposed areas. And that was in 1993, if I'm not wrong.
No. The first roof waterproofed with the TPO membranes is dated 1996.
96. Okay.
Yes.
Officially.
Yes.
Officially.
And, I would like to remember that the membranes was 1.2 millimeters.
Without reinforcement.
Without reinforcement.
1.2, no, because the nominal was 1.14.
Less than 1.2 initially.
Yes. This is American standard.
1.14, because the specification was from USA, from America, and they have some particular dimension, the particular thickness, different from Europe.
Quando lui ha fatto il
So
test, 10 anni erano membrane fornite da IMPER.
Quando abbiamo fatto il test erano
Would you
Ok, quindi se nel 96
would you say
10
something?
anni vuol dire che erano dello.
Yes, I would like to ask
Yes.
for the test. They took the pieces. I mean, can you hear me now?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Well, I would like to ask for the test. They took a piece from the real roofs.
From the real roofs, yes. 80 by 80.
Yes, because usually in order to certify the membranes, the producer send a sample of membranes. In this case, we took a sample from the roof. Directly from the roof. Yes. After many years of service.
Yes.
So this is a sort of engineering study made by the Milano University Politecnico by this professor, which is more than a real certificate in terms of life durability.
Yeah, this is the best certificate.
But even though IMPER, since they started till now, we can say officially 26 years ago, the projects made up to that date are still intact. I mean, with the real maintenance, if there is no damages on the roof, they are still there. I have a customer in Romania who told me that with ST 1.2 made in the early 2000, still there. So life durability is like a question mark, or everyone is bidding on it. But we can say from our experience that for long period, TPO is long lasting. And of course, it should be certified. So BBA for this purpose issued a certificate with life expectancy that exceeds 30. And recently, shortly, with the revision of the certificate, it's going to be 35, not to say 40, but 35 years durability.
I would like to remember that up to 1996, the most commonly used single ply membranes for roofing was PVC.
Yes.
But in 1995, started in Europe a different approach to the product for building, because all people were against the PVC. For this reason, Sika Flag, today Soprema, and Imper chose to change the production, starting producing TPO membranes. Because in Europe, everyone wanted an environmentally friendly product for roofing. So the TPO come from a movement against PVC membranes. This is the reason why the main producer of single ply membranes started with the TPO production.
Also, the American Carlisle and Firestone, after 2008, they understood the quality of TPO, and they have switched a big part of the production to TPO that they were exporting to Europe.
It's very strange today to see Sika to promote PVC membranes, because Sika was the first one who promoted TPO, because they had a lot of problem in Switzerland with the PVC membrane. I remember well, because I was working in that period for Flag, and I know perfectly all the problems we had in that time with the PVC membranes.
Yeah. So our to go back, we were talking with the engineer Rotolo about certification. So we have a wide range of certificates in several countries, in Holland, in Belgium, in UK, and so on. And we have also a very important certificate, which is an insurance certificate, FM Factory Mutual, that when the engineer specify products for American investor, most of the cases they ask for FM. We can think about Amazon, about Google, Apple, all of the American projects, especially those that have been made in the Silicon Valley in Ireland. Behind that projects were Americans, and they need FM certificate, and it's very, very expensive and long duration to obtain FM. So Imper has also factory mutual certificate further to those European ones. Of course, we were talking about the environment. So Imper belongs to GBC, which is the Rotolo will explain. Green Building Council.
Green Building Council, which is
we are associated
an
in
institute, yes, which is an institute which work about the environmental aspect of building. And so we are associated to the CBC, and we are in the position to issue some credits, some LEED credits. This is very important. Also, we have the APD, Environmental Product Declaration, which is an important certification in terms of impact, environmental impact of citofoil. I don't know if you know this kind of certification, which is
APD.
more and more required on the market now, in Italy and the world.
Is this kind of certification required in Bulgaria?
Yes, for some of the investors, they are very interested in that kind of certificates, because they want to build up green buildings that and take the certificate for green buildings that could benefit the investment. They could take some grants from the government and so on with these green certificates.
So we can do that because we are a member of this association, and we can issue the EPD declaration.
Yes, yes. In addition, in terms of certifications, we have also the BRUF certification, the certification in terms of behavior to fire. I don't know what is the classification, the level of classification needed in Bulgaria. I think BRUF T1, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, we have many certifications for many different systems in terms of BRUF T1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay.
So we can offer the 4 levels of fire rated.
Probably because there is an influence by German.
German, yes, yes, yes. the east of Europe is influenced by
German.
German
Yeah.
system.
So just roughly, these granules of TPO are no toxic component, no volatile component, no additive needed, no solvent-based items, and no toxic fumes. These are features that the TPO has that PVC doesn't, for example. And also no halogen, it's halogen-free, the FR membrane, the fire rated is free of
halogens.
Yes. Of course, talking about environment, it's very important the choice of the white reflector for Imper and to go to the cool roof system, because you know, with the heating of the buildings, saving energy, reducing consumption of electricity, and creating more comfort in the buildings is very important today. And in Italy, for example, we have classification of the building, class A, class B, class AA, class BB, etc. So accordingly, you pay less taxes or more taxes, and have more incentives. So cool roof, we are in also this segment, because with the white reflector TPO, we achieve the level of 102% of solar reflectance index. So this is a certification made by an institute about this level. Yeah. So reducing the heating is very important for the building, as normally is done also with the roof gardens as well. Is interesting with the Simtofoil ST even for roof garden. The company Imper, of course, knowing that TPO is professional product for professional market, it needs professional installators. That's why Imper has its own training center to, inform and train all contractors the right way to install and maintain TPO. And they participate in course. Before COVID, they were doing monthly courses coming from several countries and also from the domestic markets. And the trainer who trained these kind of people is the same person who travels to assist the customer on site, to make a startup for the project. In case it is needed, he can travel and assist on the project. Talking about environment, it's a good combination when you use the photovoltaic system together with TPO, especially the white reflector. So it is very suitable for that kind of systems. Imper has its own system, rubber fix, for maybe Mr. Alongi will explain you later.
No, but we have also another, we have two kind of fixation system in the roof in order to install photovoltaic system without perforating the surface of TPO. We have
thermal induction.
Two kind of system, because the first one is rubber fix, but we can use also the system of Cedric Auger, and because sometimes it's not possible to use the rubber fix, and we use the, come si chiama il sistema? Helioprofile. Helioprofile. And we have a certified system to fix photovoltaic panels on the roof.
This is very important because last year the Bulgarian energy market was free market. Everybody could buy energy, and investors and real estate owners thinking about investing in a photovoltaic system, and this would be, very, very useful. These systems that are ballast system that don't need to penetrate the roofs, the waterproofing membranes.
Yeah,
this is very important.
Yeah. If you are interested in, we have a partner, a producer, installer, BUA. Because we have a partnership with a German company specialized in photovoltaic system, and so we are capable to provide a full roof system included the photovoltaic panels.
Great.
And certified in terms of wind resistance, and
Wind uplift.
wind uplift resistance, and fire resistance.
Fire system.
Yes.
Yes, because usually when is foreseen a photovoltaic system on the roof, is required a fire-resistant certified assembly for the roof. So you are forced to use B-roof membranes.
Yes.
Depends on the norms you have in Bulgaria, because certain countries require B-roof T1, others B-roof T2, others B-roof T3. So accordingly, we have all of these ingredients, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah? But the system for photovoltaic, if it has been arranged with another classification, I think.
In Italy, for example, when it's foreseen a photovoltaic system, the customer require B-roof T2.
Normally, currently, B-roof T2.
And in France also.
In France, B-roof
T3.
In Holland, B1, T1. In the Netherlands.
Okay.
In England, T4.
T4.
Yeah.
So our company has an engineering department for drawings and to assist the project in drawings and the specification with the system, how to be installed, and all the necessary documentation to be presented to the engineer or to the specifier. So we can assist the customers from this point of view with the technical information and drawings regarding the right system to be used.
Great.
And at least regarding the services that Imper offers also in Europe, I mean, we can issue this certificate that we have already issued.
I'm sorry, with regard drawings, we are capable to provide BIM standard for drawing.
3D, BIM, all.
If needed.
Yes.
Yes, this is, I mean, it becomes very popular now, more and more popular to projects, and just construction companies start using BIM.
Yeah.
Management of the job sites.
Our products are guaranteed. Normally, we give 10 years. In some cases, they ask 15 years, as you have been asking us in the past. So we can offer the product liability certificate of 15 years at the moment. And this is against defective material. So in case that the material is defective, not the installation, the insurance refund the damages to third parties. So if anyone is injured or the computers have been ruined or the furniture, these damages are paid by the insurance. This is against defective quality. So this was another point of the services that we give. Now let's talk about TPO. Imper TPO FPA. I learned that TPO thermoplastic olefin, polyolefin, is the name of the most common everywhere. Imper started calling it FPA, and this has been given by Imper, flexible polyolefin alloy. So when you find FPA, behind it, there is Imper. So just to tell you, because they promoted this kind of thing from the early beginning. So this is what TPO is made of. And polypropylene copolymers do not contain plasticizer, and they have excellent resistance to UV rays and chemical agents, and also bacterial, I can say.
Yes.
Bacterial. While PVC, which stands for polyvinyl chloride plasticide, is a PVC-P, P stands for plasticide membrane made of resins of 50 to 55%, plasticizers between 30-35%, and over, depends on the flexibility they needed. Stabilizers, pigments, 10-20%. This is the composition of the PVC.
The presence of a plasticizer is the reason why the PVC membrane is so flexible. But in the long term is a limit for the membranes.
Because plasticizer is going to immigrate from the membrane and it will be cracking or cutting more rigid. That flexibility will be lost.
Many times our customer complained because the TPO membranes is rigid compared to PVC. But this is the advantage of a TPO, because in the long term, the service life of the membranes is longer than PVC membrane.
And also traffic and puncture resistance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see this slide just to show you roughly the points, the differences, the features for PVC and TPO. What are the strengths of both products? If you look at the PVCP, as we said before, it's very long traditional system. So people have big experience in that because it started earlier and they are more familiar with welding of PVC. Cheap solution, because this is the case, and easy to weld. These are the 3 points that people decide to choose, the contractors, I mean, when they try to choose PVC, they inform you about these factors, but we have to be on the left side aware of the features, positive features of the TPO. It's eco-friendly because it doesn't contain plasticizers, doesn't contain chloride, it doesn't contain any toxic material. So eco-friendly and allow you to get LEED credits. Yes. High resistance to aging and atmospheric aggression. No plasticizers, as we said, so no separation layer between the membrane and the insulation, the membrane and the underneath material, like geotextile. This is what therefore it's suitable to get in contact with all thermal insulation products, including the weakest one, which is the white, the EPS. So in this case, also saving money because you save the labor cost of installation of geotextile and the geotextile itself. Yes. Life expectancy of TPO exceeds 30 years, as we said, and it's gonna be 35 shortly. The weight of the membrane itself
is very important.
This is the most important factor, yeah. Environment and durability are
also the lighter weight.
The lighter weight, 25% lighter weight than PVC. Yes. Which means with the same thickness, you have less cost also of dismantling the material after the use. Very important. And transportation as well. It's an insurable solution even with the thin thickness 1.2 and even without reinforcement, like Cintofoil ST 1.2. Imper Cintofoil could be mechanically fixed, even the 1.2 without reinforcement. And this is also important. And this has been also approved by Croce.
By Croce, yes, but also by an important certification in Europe, which is called ETA. ETA
is the European Institute.
Especially, we currently we don't have no longer this kind of certification because the CN Max don't ask longer this kind of certification. But at the beginning, one time it was strictly necessary, and we achieved this kind of certification for Cintofoil ST homogeneous without reinforcement. Homogeneous without reinforcement with the minimum of thickness of 1.2 millimeters.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know if we need to remove a doubt which that someone have about the weldability of Cintofoil or TPO.
Yes, this is, I think, would be new for most of contractors here in Bulgaria because still now we have the information from old times. I mean, PVC mentality that all mechanically fixed system must be with membrane that is reinforced with polyester.
Which is cultured from the PVC reinforced. Yes.
Yes. So This is great that there is a TPO membrane that is not reinforced and also is certificated for mechanically fixed system. It's great.
Yes, we normally, the ST membrane, Cintofoil non-reinforced membrane, is normally used to make the details because it's more flexible, doesn't have the reinforcement. Yes. With it, normally they use RG, glass reinforced, or RT, polyester reinforced, while ST is only for the detailing.
Yes, sometimes we use it for construction joint.
Yes.
Because the elongation is
it's very high elongation, yeah, very high. But just this is a limit. We can say that we use it to say that even without reinforcement, the product has been tested and it has been successfully working even without reinforcement for mechanical fixing. Obviously, when you have glass fiber inside or polyester inside, there are other dynamics that get into the issue, like dimensional stability or like other factors. You know, with the reinforcement, you enhance the product with other features. But to say that ST is the limit, the lowest limit, works. So anything else works also more. These advantages are not very little. Even our competitor Sika, as you said, continue promoting PVC versus TPO, saying the contrary. And we always wonder why, why they do like that, because they produce both. And they talk negatively about TPO, which is, for our reality and experience, TPO has better features than PVC.
But this is very strange because in Italy, they promote only TPO membranes.
In Italy, but abroad,
Italy is a completely different market for all manufacturers, because all manufacturers promote in Italy TPO because no one wants PVC. Because in the past, we had a lot of problem with the PVC membrane.
Yes, and I would like to ask you a question about the formulation of TPO of different producers.
Yes.
Is there a difference in formulation from producer to producer, and how different is producing TPO in Europe and in USA, for example?
Yes, the quality is a little bit different because some producers are used to cut the resin with other product like rubber, for example. Yes. So the quality is lower than the TPO with the virgin polypropylene. But the main difference is that in Europe there are two traditions of TPO membranes. In Germany, for example, some manufacturers use polyethylene-based membranes.
Yes.
But I remember that in 1996, when Flag and Sika started with the TPO membranes, they started with the polyethylene-based membranes. And they had a lot of problems because there were a lot of problems in welding, in stability of the membranes. So immediately, both of the companies chose to switch on polypropylene formulation.
In America, I think they still privilege the polyethylene to get it more softer than similar to PVC.
No, but in US, Firestone and Carlisle use the polypropylene, but they use to cut the resin.
Not
in
virgin.
Order to, yes.
Not virgin polymers. I will show you something that you might be interested, people, why to choose TPO, not bituminous systems. You know that we produce both, so we are happy to sell both of them, but the market is switching to the environment.
Just to underline, yes, we have two big families of TPO membranes in terms of polyethylene or polypropylene. It's clear that the polypropylene-based membranes are the best. Then are better than polyethylene. Yes. Polyethylene has many problems in terms of weldability, in terms of reliability, in terms of durability, in terms of dimensional stability. Mm-hmm. So, and also the polyethylene-based membranes and polypropylene-based ones are not wearable together.
They're not compatible.
Not
Yes.
compatible, understand.
Good. This is a good point. I forgot to point out. So the idea was to make a comparison why to choose synthetic membrane TPO rather than bituminous one. One of the reasons that moved me from my previous experience to Imper is because Imper is producing the synthetic membranes, where I was before wasn't producing that, and the market orientation and the direction of the world in general is for electric cars, hybrid cars, environmental friendly material. And I have had some issues in several markets where my customers were asking me, were telling me we forecast reduction of sales of bituminous because the government is putting a lot of restrictions in using naked flame, the fire on the roof. In England, they have had, for example, a lot of accidents by, fire with that skyscraper that got fired and many other accidents. So there are restrictions from this side as workability, and the other hand as risk and the insurance rate. The insurance is very expensive to use naked flame. So they are oriented to go more to PVC, EPDM, TPO in that market. So I was concerned about it because if the future is the synthetic membranes, it was my decision to join Imper to get this kind of material, which was showing the future. So this is a system made, a multi-layer system, built up roof system of bituminous and insulation, warm roof. You can see both bituminous and TPO, Syntofoil. If you look at the stratigraphy, 7 levels with the bituminous membrane, with the thickness, I mean the height of the package. Sometimes the engineers are concerned about the height of the package. In this case, if we use primer, vapor layer, PIR, bituminous membrane and underlay, and then the cap sheet, totally it's 21 centimeter package. If we use the same thickness of insulation with the same package, warm roof with TPO, the maximum level is 11 centimeters. So we save really 10 centimeters, which is not that small amount.
Almost double.
Yeah. So it's very...
It's very important when you decided to dismantle the roof because the quantity of the waste is enormous. So the cost is very expensive.
Yeah. It happened to me personally to refurbish my terrace. The level of the terrace was at the end higher than the level of my home. So sometimes you need lower thickness.
Yes, of course.
If we go to the weight, the same system of before is around 15 kilo comparing to 6 kilos. So 3 times less.
In this kind of sample, we have a concrete structure, but
yes.
The weight is very important when we deal with Bacassier system, with the metal sheet substrate, metal deck.
And this is regarding the weight. Thickness and weight are important. So the comparison, you see this difference. If we calculate roughly a cost of a system made of bituminous membranes and the same with the TPO, people think that TPO will cost more. In this case, with TPO is 27 euro roughly installation and supply, while for bituminous is around 43 euros.
Obviously, these are the price in Italy.
Yes, yes, it's a comparison about our situation.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then if we, how many square meter could be installed per day? The same team working with one system or other system, we see that it is 4 times more. Consider that one roll of TPO is 52 square meters. One roll of bituminous is 10 meters, and you need to torch it with the, and so on. So you say you also have major productivity in terms of installation. You are a contracting company, so I don't need to tell you.
You know the difference very well.
You know the difference because you used to have both. Now we talk a little bit, I would like to give you a rough idea about the market in Europe of single ply. And these numbers come from an agency that makes this kind of, it's an applied market information agency that make interviews among Europe and gather the whole information about the market. Maybe it could be useful to see some figures like the single ply. Single ply could mean PVC, TPO, EPDM, ECP, or BIP. These are the major families of the single plies. You can see in this slide 2014 to 2018, because this report has been made in 2019 regarding 18. You see the growth, I mean, in terms of percentage and share of each family. If you look at the bottom of bitumen, comparing to synthetic, from 70% of the European market in 2023 forecasted to be 62, and I believe much less. I want to give you an element about Italy, because Italy, we were 31 producers in the 90s. Today we are 10, 11. So because the demand of the market is less than the offer. So several companies have closed, other companies have merged in multinational companies. So this is the market share of the single ply in comparison with bituminous. About Italy, it could be just to show you where we live. Italy doesn't have advocacy for the single ply, for single ply system, but they are, I mean, oriented to TPO in the single ply system. Because in Italy, there are many producers of bituminous that were the lobby of the market of waterproofing. Okay, so there was a big offer of that. But TPO in Italian market share is 57% of the single ply market. And it represents 3.5 million square meter with a growth between 9 to 10% in 2018. The years before, the growth was less, but it is changing. The direction is changing. Imper was the first promoting TPO in Italy. So the promotion, when you look at these figures, Imper is mentioned always promoting TPO since 1995. Okay. No, there was a digit mistake in acquired. So the Imper since 95, and then Flag that has been acquired by Suprema in 2007, TPO promoted TPO, now Suprema, Polyglass with the acquisition by Mapei in 2010. These are the main three players in Italy for the promotion of TPO. This is the non-residential flat roofing market growth, single ply, new and refurbishment. The gray color is the new and the blue is the refurbishment. You can see there is a trend that the new buildings, especially logistics, have been growing in the last in the last 3-4 years is booming. Logistics everywhere. So in the new building, mainly commercial roofing and logistics. The refurbishment remains steady. The single ply induced demand in Europe, you can see in this figure, in total, up to 2018, single ply represented 155 million square meter in total of the single ply market. And the forecast in 2023, 192. So it means that the forecast is a growth. And this is by region. You can see France, Germany, Italy, Austria, all of these countries. Germany is the biggest part of the game. TPO in single ply, you can see it by region, from France to all the other countries. And now we're talking only about TPO in flat roofing. So 28 million is the dimension of TPO in Europe. Forecast 40 million in 2023. TPO growth for the demand of single ply demand and TPO demand in the market. You can see it here in percentage. So the growth TPO in Italy is for 9.8 up to 2018. And the forecast in 2023, 7.3, but it's still a percentage of growth. So there is a gap still to achieve. TPO penetration in Europe. This is a penetration up to 2008 single ply versus flat roofing. So TPO represent 18. If we look about these all, total is 18 in average.
It's very interesting to look at the Switzerland, the country of Sika, where the TPO is one of the most commonly used single ply membrane.
Yes, 28% is the flat roofing, TPO in the flat roofing.
Yes, yes.
Italy, the presence of TPO in flat roofing is only 8%. But this is good because there is a gap to gain.
Yeah.
Bituminous membrane versus single ply share ranked by highest penetration of the single ply market. And you see here the percentages.
Yes.
Italy today, let us say 86% bituminous, 14% is the single ply. So it's still high in Italy. And the reason, as I told you, still so many manufacturers of bituminous that need to survive and remain in the market. We produce also bituminous. So we are in both.
Yes.
Now let's change and go to the single ply fields of application, TPO and PVC, we said, and we are mainly focusing now to talk about TPO. TPO is used in roofing, could be used in hydraulic works, rarely is used in underground tunneling. There are some countries where they are oriented to TPO for tunneling, like Scandinavian countries. They have severe rules, sometimes due to the use of the gas. I mean, they can inhale the toxic fume from the application and welding. So they are switching the galleries, tunnels with TPO, but 95, 99% maybe is PVC, the galleries, the tunneling. So we can use for artificial lakes, reservoir, or canals, TPO. We can use the TPO for hydraulic works, for water tanks, drinkable water, and for roofs. In roofing, most of the biggest part of the consumption of TPO is commercial roofing. You rarely see it in residential. There are some cases where they have chosen residential. Car parking as well, TPO is also considered for car parking, and roof guarding. This is a very significant project, 70,000 square meter of commercial center in South Italy. It's a roof garden made with TPO. And here, integrated photovoltaic uses. I mean, it's suitable to use with the photovoltaic. The projects that I mean, we have made so many projects with so many brands. I mean, the chain of Lidl specified in France, in Italy, and in Spain with Imper. We entered in the chain of supermarkets Eurospin. We are in Auchan, in Carrefour, in Tesco, Audi, Airbus, Fiat, Toyota, Coca-Cola, IKEA. Let's talk about Practica as well, that you have been specified in Bulgaria. So we can see some projects here and there. This is a logistic center in Tunis with TPO white. This is in Dubai. This has been made, I think, in 2008. Children's Hospital in Dubai, 22,000 square meter. This is Volcano project I showed you before. This is Saudi Arabia, Mecca. Mecca, where the Muslims people join, millions of people there. They have made all the new infrastructures have been waterproofed with Cintofoil. Lidl France, 65,000 square meter project with RG 1.8. This is another Lidl. You will see many Lidls because it was easy for me to find some pictures. Another Lidl also in France, 40,000, Cintofoil 1.5 RG. 65, another one in Italy, Lidl, 65,000 square meter, white reflector, you like.
Yes.
Another Lidl in Italy, 15,000 square meter, 1.5. Spain, Lidl, Canarias, 21,000. The previous.
You can see the induction system.
If you see the right, the picture down on the right, you see these washers.
Yes.
These are the induction washers covered with TPO. And with a special heating machine, will be welding without perforating.
Understand.
Thermal induction system, Lidl. This is in Spain, we said 21,000. Another practical, this is in Bulgaria, this is in Dobrich, made by Izumatec, our good partner and contractor in Bulgaria. I'm not sure if it was 10 or 12,000. I put 10,000. I don't remember the dimension. I think 10,000.
Like 9,000, but okay.
Okay, we are there then. This is Coca-Cola bottling plant in Sevilla, Spain, 64,000 square meters.
And recently we used our membranes for Coca-Cola Barranquilla in Colombia.
Also in Colombia, Coca-Cola. I didn't have the picture.
Against Firestone, American producer.
In Colombia versus Firestone. Cintofoil also in IKEA in UK, another 14,000 square meter, and with vapor barrier, and ST mechanically fixed, so without reinforcement. This is Tesco, also Cintofoil ST, full package, around 14,000 square meter. This is 9,000 square meter of Audi Porsche in Hungary, Budapest. This is the Airbus in Spain, the plant of Airbus in Spain, 32,000 square meters, Cintofoil ST, no reinforcement, mechanically fixed. This is the one we said before, 70,000 square meter with ST mechanically fixed with the roof garden on the top of it. And it is fantastic to see the roof garden. You can see the picture with the drainage system, with the geotextile, and
very interesting.
This is beautiful because it's called Vulcano, like the volcano in Sicily.
Yeah.
In Naples.
In Naples, ma c'è anche il vulcano anche in
Sicilia. Sì, ma questo è stato fatto per il Vesuvio, perché di fronte c'è il Vesuvio.
This is near Vesuvio, Napoli, you know.
Okay.
I didn't see it, I mean, I never saw it personally, but I saw the picture. It was made by Renzo Piano, one of the most popular architects in Italy. Renzo Piano.
Not only in Italy, but
abroad and everywhere. This is strange. 100,000 square meter in Qatar, Doha, with Cintofoil ST for residential roofing, housing. So just to say, we don't sell product, we sell system, and this is who we are and what we do. Now you can make any question further to this very short presentation. I cut many pieces not to talk, otherwise it will take longer time. So I wanted to leave some time in case you need to go in deep in any argument.
I would like to ask what are the common question that the customer ask you?
Yes.
TPO.
The most asked question is, of course, about durability and life expectancy, and we also answered this question, I think, and the other question is about warranty. Of course, we talked about a lot about the warranty and what it means, and that the warranty is written. You provide a written warranty for a specific project, and this is great. And also one of the question that we got is about fire resistant, because we have a specific standards here, and there are requirements to investors about fire resistant. And one of the most asked question is about what is the fire resistance, and what are the certificates of TPO, specifically Cintofoil, in terms of fire resistance. So,
with the fire resistance, I hope that our engineer answered to the level of fire resistance certificate. When they are required, we can provide Cintofoil fire rated Bureau T1, T2, T3, T4, according to the country, obviously.
Do you use EPS or polyurethane insulating panels? Which kind of insulating panels do you use? EPS or polyurethane, for example, or mineral wool?
The package in Bulgaria is rock wool, stone wool mainly, or beer?
Mainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly rock wool.
Yeah, this is because of the requirements of fire resistance. It's not allowed, I mean, for big projects, it's not allowed to use EPS or XPS because of the fire resistance. Not the only, but the most product that is, I mean, the optimal in terms of price and fire resistance is mineral wool, I mean, stone wool, like, you know, rock wool and Knauf, you know, the main producers in Bulgaria.
Yeah. In Italy, we have the certification, and we have also the FM, either with BIR, either with stone wool, rock wool. So we have both insulation panels included in the certificate of fire resistance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we answered of the most of the question, and I'd like to thank you for this great presentation. Thank you, Wow, and thank you also, Mr. Longi, to join here and to have this meeting. So it was a great pleasure for me, and we learned a lot about TPO, about Imper, the history. It was great. Thank you.